Thank you again. And next in our agenda is our guest speaker session. Since it is my last meeting as the president, I thought of inviting our own past president, Ranjan De Silva, to do the honor as a guest speaker. Now I would like to invite our secretary-elect, Rakita, to introduce our guest speaker. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, President Shanta. Today's topic is poetry for inspiration. Once William Wordsworth said, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. We human beings naturally have different types of feelings. It might be love, compassion, sadness, or even it can be anger, hatred, ill will, animosity, or even it can be lust. But there are different ways we can express our feelings. If you express your feelings in a bad way, you can even become a criminal. But if you express your feelings in a civilized manner, you can even be considered as a saint one day. So I was trying to find out how poetry can inspire people. So then I realized, as William Wordsworth said, you need to have a tranquil or calm mind to express your feelings when it comes to poetry. So if you cannot express your feelings in a civilized manner if you don't have a tranquil mind. A tranquil mind is essential to inspire yourself and to inspire other people. So as Wordsworth said, we express our deepest emotions recollected in tranquility in terms of poetry. Therefore, I realized that there is a beautiful connection between poetry and how poetry can be used to inspire ourselves and other people. And for that purpose, to enlighten all of us, we have past President Ranjan De Silva. So let me give a small introduction about past President Ranjan De Silva. He is the CEO, success coach, and team leadership specialist leading the Sensei International Operations in Asia, which is one of the world's leading leadership development consultancies, helping leaders to engage their teams to deliver strategic business results by creating conducive corporate cultures, inspiring leaders, supportive teams, and inspired talent. To you, past President Ranjan De Silva, to enlighten us on the topic poetry for inspiration. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, President Champa, for inviting me. Thank you, Rakita, for the introduction. And I really value the introduction because you set the stage, the philosophical aspect of poetry that makes my life easier. I don't have to go into that aspect. So the best way to do this is to recite some of my favorite poetry. I use a lot of poetry in my leadership development and corporate culture work to connect and inspire people. So as Rakita said, there is poetry in different areas, and today I'm going to take 3 areas of poetry. So the first, I will share a few poems which is to do with personal belief and confidence, how to create belief and confidence in yourself and others. Secondly, I have some poetry related to love and relationships. And thirdly, with regard to respect and gratitude. So it was very difficult to select which poems to say because I have so many of them. So with the greatest difficulty, I picked up 10, but I don't know whether I can go through all 10, but let's try. So the first poem is regard to personal beliefs and confidence. And I'm sure some of you have watched the Star Wars movie, which has this little cute robo called R2-D2. Now, when Star Wars first came out, R2-D2 became so popular, they put replicas of R2-D2 in schools, and R2-D2 would recite this poem when kids go and wind it up during interval. So kids loved it, so did the adults. So the poem goes this way. R2D2, are you me too? If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. You can turn that C into an A. You can make that college play. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. You can compete with McEnroe or Austin. You can even win the marathon in Boston. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. You can profit from inflation. You can even redirect this nation. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. You can turn this pandemic into paradise and those lockdowns to rediscover love. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. But if you think you can't, you can't. If you think you lose, you're lost. If you think you dare not, you don't. Because out in the world, success begins in a person's will. It's all in a state of mind. You got to think high to rise before you'll ever win the prize. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. Life's battles, it's true, may not always go to the strongest and swiftest man. But sooner or later, the person who wins is the person who thinks he can. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. It doesn't matter if you have won before. It doesn't matter the halftime score. But is there one? It's not done till the final gun. So you can be a winner even if you're just a beginner. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. You see, it's not the privilege or the gifted at birth. It's not your pocketbook that determines your worth. Sooner or later, the person who wins is the person who thinks he can. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can. So that's my first offering to you, and I hope that's useful when we start realizing that things are challenging, impossible, especially in this current lockdown. My second poem is by Eric Carle, and the title is Little Cloud. Now, as I recite this poem, I would like you to think of maybe your child, your grandchild, or yourself as the little cloud, and speak to this little cloud in this manner. In your lifetime, there will be answers that no one really knows but you. So remember, because the world will make every attempt to define the truth. And the last thing you want is the shape you take to be a product of their stories passing through. They don't want white, they want blue. They don't want shade, they want crystal clear. But little cloud, that's not you. In fact, you're above all that. The moment you turn away from who you were meant to be, well, that's the very moment you are indistinguishable from life underneath. Look, I don't mean to scare you. I'm just being sincere. You can't fly to the sun if you're held down by fear. And that pressure, it builds up. It precipitates tears. You can always recover like those who were down, but don't have life undiscovered year after year. See, whether you realize it or not, little cloud, you are top of the world, so that you are. I mean, look, you fly around the sun and moon and stars. You take a simple blue canvas and convert it to art. You think that's nothing, little cloud? I don't know where to start then. See, life is better every day because you are here. Without you, there will be no ocean or boats and captains to steer. No sunrise collages to watch and revere. You turn rays of light to pink and teal chandeliers. If you think that's nothing, little cloud, I beg of you, let the logic reappear. There's no limitation to what you can be. So keep your eyes on the spot where the sky meets the sea. That little cloud is where life truly begins. And little by little, you'll start to believe. And that's for all of you little clouds up there. Let's believe. We can create anything, however little we think we are. Now, starting to create that world, sometimes you have to take a risk. So the next poem is about risk. It's more than a poem. It's a reading by Leo Buscaglia. Leo wrote this book with the title Love, and he actually owns it. And Leo goes this way. To laugh is to risk appearing the fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out to another is to risk getting involved. To expose feelings is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas and dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. But risk must be taken, because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he cannot learn, feel, change, grow, or live. Chained by his certitudes, he is a slave who has forfeited all freedom. So the only person who is free is the person who risks. So go get yourself free, take some risk. So those are the first three poems in the area of self-confidence and self-belief. Next, I would like to go into relationships, and this is a poem written by Valerie Cox, and she talks about, and it's actually a beautiful story written in a poetic way. And the name of the story is Cookie Thief. And these are cookies that you eat, not the stuff you get in the internet. So it goes this way. A woman was waiting at an airport before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shop, bought a bag of cookies, and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in a book, but happened to see that the man beside her, as bold as could be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag between, which she tried to ignore to avoid a scene. She munched cookies and watched the clock as the gusty cookie thief diminished her stock. She was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking, if I wasn't so nice, I would blacken his eye. With each cookie she took, he took one too. When only one was left, she wondered what he'll do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half as he ate the other. She snatched it from him, thinking, oh, brother, this guy has some nerve and is also so rude. Why he didn't show any gratitude? She had never known when she had been so galled and sighed with relief when the flight was called. She gathered her belongings and headed to the gate, refusing to look back at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank in a seat and sought a book which was almost complete. As she reached in her baggage, she gasped with surprise. There were her bag of cookies in front of her eyes. If mine are here, she moaned with despair, then the others were his, and he tried to share. Too late to apologize, she realized with grief that she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief. So how many times in your life had you been absolutely sure of something? Ladies and gentlemen, even if we see something, even if we hear something, there's nothing to be going and checking out, clarifying, and trying to really deeply understand the intention behind actions people take. So those are the beginnings for the relationships. The second, this is actually a song by the title The Rose by Betty Midler. And I'm not going to sing the song because I'm a terrible singer, but let me try to say it in a poetic way, the words. I love these words, so let's go for it. Some say love, it's a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it's a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love is a hunger, an endless aching need. But I say love is a flower, and you is only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's a dream afraid of waking that never takes a chance. It's the one who won't be taken that cannot seem to give. And the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and when you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies a seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes a rose. So we are all like that seed, sometimes hiding in the cold beneath the snow, waiting for sun's love, waiting for the nurturing. And sometimes it could be your children, your grandchildren, your team members. Sometimes they may look not very confident and afraid and waiting down there. And I think what we can do is show them that love and nurture them. So love is for me helping someone else to grow to their fullest potential, even if it's not convenient to you. I'll take, I don't know how time is going, maybe I'll take one more on the love area and then move on to respect and gratitude. Now this is a saying by Khalil Gibran, and this particular version is about, it's called Love is Separateness. And this has a very spiritual and philosophical feel to it. And M. Scott Peck, who wrote the book, The Road Less Traveled, also borrowed this and put it in his book to talk about narcissism. Now, narcissism is about when we think that we are the perfect model in the world and we want everyone else to be like us. And sometimes there's parental narcissism where parents want their children to be like them. Or there's a leadership narcissism where leaders would only favor those who sort of bow to them. So this basically explains about love. It might not be good news for some of you, but this is what it is. It goes this way. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. You're the bow from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the infinite, and he bends you with his might that his arrow may go swift and far. So let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves the bow that is stable. So to unpack that a bit, the archer is the creator, you're the bow, and the arrow is your children who you send forth into the future. They have a different world. We are guardians, we nurture them, but we need to let them go to the world to make a difference. Not to make them like you, not to live in your world, in your tradition. We need to open up because they don't belong to us. They are with us, but not belong to us. So maybe a little bad news for some of you. We need to, of course, let them go at some point. Next few poems are to do with respect and gratitude. And the first poem is for all the ladies in this room. Now, the ladies, you need to go find a mirror to experience this poem. So have a look at the mirror and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the meaning of it all? Is there anything more to life than just being a loving wife? I love my children dearly, but would they just come by yearly? Day by day, I go to the store, I cook, I clean, I wash their clothes. There I wish for something more than just to scrub and wax the floor. Will my dreams ever come true? Aren't they of some value too? I have a body, I have a soul. I have a target and a goal. I want to earn, I want to reach, I want to learn, and I want to teach. I need a higher education, a chance to guide this nation. I am not rebelling, it's an inner need compelling. I need to fly out of my cocoon to set my own footprints on the moon. I like to see this world a better place, blessed by my special female grace. I don't want to be a man. I like the woman I am. Mirror, mirror on the wall, help me help him hear my call. The only thing that I want to see is the freedom for me to be really me. And that's for all the ladies in this room, as well as all the ladies in the lives of the men in this room. Please take that message to your heart and take it to your homes. Now, gentlemen, you have a tougher task. You need to find a crystal ball to enjoy this poem. Ladies had only to find a mirror. You go find a crystal ball and look at it and say, crystal ball, oh crystal ball, what's the meaning of it all? Will my empire rise and fall, ashes to ashes, dust to dust? Sometimes I'm really scared just to be really me. I work, I earn the daily bread, I watch TV, I go to bed. Year after year, I live on, but before I know, the year is gone. I know this is not a practice game. I know there is no Martyrs Hall of Fame. There are days even when the heroes are blown, but every day is a Super Bowl. Winning is a habit, so is losing. Losers live in glass houses doing nothing but mourning. Losers blame bad luck when they lose, they hide behind drugs and booze. Losers know how to procrastinate and winners know how to accelerate. Winners know how to win, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Winners know that winning is beginning and beginning is now. I dream it now, I need it now, I drive it now, and I do it now. And then I see the picture of me, the person I really want to be. I think I can, and I know I can, to be my greatest coach and fan. And then when I love myself, I get the strength to give to the world my special gift. And when I get exhausted, and yet give my best, and then I become that extraordinary man, me. And that's for all the men in this room, as well as for all the men in the ladies in this room. And I'm going to finish off with two of my favorite poems. These are the last two. And first one is about to tell the world and tell God how grateful we are. The name of the poem is Forgive Me When I Whine. And whining here is complaining and grumbling. And let's go this way. Today upon a bus, I saw a girl with golden hair and wished I was as fair. When suddenly she rose to leave, I saw her hobble down the aisle. She had one leg and wore a crutch, but as she passed a smile. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have two legs, the world is mine. I stopped to buy some candy. The lad who sold it had such charm. I talked with him. He seemed so glad. If I were late, I'll do no harm. And as I left, he said to me, I thank you, sir. You've been so kind. It's nice to talk with folks like you. You see, he said, I'm blind. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have two eyes. The world is mine. Later, while I was walking down the street, I saw a child with eyes of blue. He stood and watched the others play, and he did not know what to do. And then I stopped and asked him, why won't you join the others, dear? He looked ahead without a word, and then I knew he couldn't hear. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I have two ears, the world is mine. With feet to take me where I'd go, with eyes to see the sunset glow, with ears to hear what I'd know. Oh God, forgive me when I whine. I've been blessed indeed. The world is mine. And ladies and gentlemen, aren't we all blessed with so many things where we can give to this world? We're also blessed with the pandemic. I know we're losing people, but so much good is happening. So just count our blessings, what's happening, so that we can give our special gift. And the final poem for today is attributed to Mother Teresa, who is now Saint Teresa. and very close to India, I know, from Calcutta. I'm a Christian myself, and I really cherish this poem. Now, she did not write this. She actually found this poem and displayed in the orphanages. Now, in this poem, the word anyway comes up because the name of the poem is anyway. So I want all of you to echo the word anyway, even if I can't hear, just say anyway into your heart as you hear this poem. It goes this way. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. When you spend what you spend years building, someone may destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have. It will never be enough, but give the world the best you have anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Thank you so much, everyone. I love doing this, and thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to answer some questions if there are any. Thank you.
There's no questions, but I'd like to say that lots of positivity last 15 minutes. It was fantastic. God bless Mr. De Silva. Excellent. I loved it.
Itself, our speaker, spellbound speaker, excellent. Speaker, past President Ranjan De Silva.
Well, thank you all of you for joining with us today. I would like to give my heartiest thanks to Rotarian Past President Ranjan De Silva for your inspiring poetry session. Actually, I like the woman I am, but I don't want to keep my prints on the moon, but I want to do some service to the society.
I joined at the latter part only, but I'm very glad to join as per President Champa's invitation. And the last session of past President Ranjan's poetry is excellent. Ranjan, excellent presentation. Thank you very much for all of you.
Thank you so much. Some of you have asked for the poems, so I've just put my email address. So if you just email it,
Yes,
send me an email, I can share and if you can mention which one, then I could share it once you email. Thank you so much. I just put it on the chat. His simple email address is ranjan@ranjandesilva.com. So you can remember it as well. Thank you.
DJ Naruni, would you like to speak some words?
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, I must say that was very inspiring. And actually, what I found special about the poems that you said was that you spoke about not only about love of people, but about nature and everything around you. And I think the words and the poems that you have chosen were extremely nice. I myself is a lover of poetry, being an architect and also being in the field of art. Thank you very much, Ranjan. That was very inspiring.
DG Ajit and DG and Aruni has said enough. But first of all, I would like to congratulate Ranjan. Ranjan, I have heard your presentations in various forums, but today's one was a different experience for me. And knowing you, you are good at any subject. So congratulations, Ranjan.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And
Thank you for the great opportunity. It's a wonderful situation. So, to address all the people in the gathering is along with Sri Lanka and India combined together have this program. And Speaker De Silva, amazing speaker with a limited time. They made a wonderful poem put and all. I'm eager to get some poem from you from the email, sir. I'm expecting it from you.
My
great
pleasure.
yes. I'm an NLP trainer. I understand depth in it. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for our fraternity. Thank you.
Fantastic session today. A wonderful session. When all the poems are only heartwarming, and especially the first poem, if you can, that builds a self-confidence in everybody's world, and it is needed at this hour, at this juncture, when we are affected by COVID and other problems, financial and other problems. The last one is, what a fantastic lines. I was very much moved, and I requested Ranjan De Silva to send those lines. Those lines should be in all the schools, in all the places, in all the temples, everywhere it has to be there, because it is when a person read those poems, if he follows, then no necessary to follow any of the scriptures of any religion. I am very much moved with that, and the way in which the speaker rendered his poems, very fantastic, very wonderful. Thank you on behalf of RA District 3232.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Sir Raman. And just to let you know, all the poems are available on my YouTube channel. So you can actually see it being recited. You can also share with your friends. So it's not, I can share the words, but also you can see it being recited with visuals as well.
Thank you, President Badrinarayan,
Thank you, Madam.
and the members of the club for joining with us. Also, our other sister club president who joined today, and all the presidents and the members of which joined from India and Sri Lanka. Thank you all for gracing this occasion, our last meeting, mine as well as President Badrinarayan's last meeting. It's a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Badri, congrats.
Thank
I
you.
have put the
Thank you.
YouTube on the link on the chat, but you can just put my name and search. You can find me on YouTube. And see all
Yeah, there's the link there.
It's already there as well. Yeah.
President Champa. Well done, very well done. Event. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'd like to leave.
Thank you, PDG Krish, for all the help and guidance.
Thank you, PDG.
See you, everybody.
See you.
See you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So I'll join the meeting.
Thank you.
Right? I join the meeting.
Thank you, Madam.